Welcome to Beyond Beauty, the Professional Beauty Association's podcast, where we take a deeper look into the minds and hearts of all of the amazing professionals who make up this professional beauty industry. I'm Leslie Perry, your host. With me today, a man who needs no introduction because I don't even know how to introduce you. I was just saying, John Mosley, dear friend of PBA, a Beacon speaker, mentor. You've been a part of Beacon for many years with Andis. You have done with Vagaro, Salon Centric, It Takes a Pro Team, and now brand new, hot off the press, just recently announced creative director for Dandyman, who is also one of our visionary members, and we're so excited. But if you can't tell, I'm super excited to have you as a guest today, John. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for, asking me to do this. It's always an honor when I get a text from you or a phone call or an email and asking me to do anything because, I'm a big supporter of the PBA and, I feel like the students need a voice like mine. And so I'm just thankful that the PBA gives me an opportunity to share the platform and use my voice to help deliver the message, but also help guide the next generation.
That's awesome. And the students absolutely love you. I know that when you're on stage, they're like, oh my gosh, we need time with John.
Yeah, it's just that cool, calm, collective approach. Like I don't sugarcoat it. I keep it real with them, and I talk to them at the same level. Like, yeah, I might have the years in front of you, but doesn't mean I don't have the same experiences that you have had or will have. So I just try to keep it that kind of perspective for the students.
So going back, and I've heard your story, but I bet there's a lot of people who still haven't heard your story. Professional beauty is a family business for you. And talk a little bit about how you started. I mean, I know the story of how you started, and there's a football component, which, I love the sports and the beauty coming together. But it ultimately it is a family thing for you too.
Yeah, so my mother, sister, cousins, aunts, the whole family is in the beauty space. And so growing up, I used to get in trouble. And when I get in trouble, my mom would make me go sit at the salon and I would have to run errands, sweep hair, and do all of that
Sweep
stuff.
hair, towels.
Yeah, I was everything that I didn't want to be, and especially on a Saturday when all my friends was out, having fun at the park playing sports, I had to be there. And so um, I literally one day was playing college football, and I just said, you know what, this ain't for me. College wasn't. I was bored, and I didn't feel valued in college, and so I was like, I'm gonna lie. And I'm gonna just tell my mom I want to go to barber school. And I thought she would be so excited and it'd give me time to figure out what else I wanted to do with my life. And all of that was not how it worked out. I was enrolled in school like 3 days later. And after that, I
Mom's
hated
like,
school.
okay, that's it.
Yeah. She was like, that parent that get happy that you want to follow their footsteps. And then 6 months later, I actually said, you know what, I like this. And then I turned it into a passion. And that's where we are today.
Could you have imagined when you started that lie to start and then fell in love with it, like thinking back to then and like where you are today, that it would grow into such an amazing career journey that you've had?
No. And the reason why I could honestly say no is because sometimes you hear like your environment, will stop you, your upbringing, your childhood traumas, and all that kind of stuff. You hear more of a negative thing going into like the beauty space, and oh, it's not a real career, and it's not a real like you're never gonna make money off of it. And so that wasn't the case. I had my family was the business of the beauty business, so I actually got to see something different. But I didn't think that I would succeed as much as I did in it because everybody's on the cost side. I
Yeah.
was the salmon that swam the other way in the stream. And I said, I'm going to the barber side. And so I didn't have nobody else to really pay attention to. And so I just dove in it and I got into a shop and I learned from a lot of the guys that was in the shop with me. And I set goals and set standards for myself. And when I started hitting them, that's when I realized like, okay, I can be great at this. And then I started showing people my work. And once they seen my work, they said, you know what, you could be a real big person in the industry. You just got to be able to tell your story and leave a legacy. And so I just focused on putting my work out to the world. And then here we are.
You make it sound so easy, but I know it wasn't. And I know I was thinking before this, Like if I would look up the definition of hustle, grind, like that kind of like work ethic, John Mosley comes to like top of the list for me.
Oh, yeah. Nah, it sounds easy
It
because I
sounds
cut a lot of
easy,
the story out because I don't know how
right?
much time we had. But it's definitely not easy. Like you go through your ups and downs in it. You go through the glitz, the glamour, the good, the bad, the ugly. Um, but one part of my career, at one time, I was running parallel three different lines. I was educating, I was doing celebrity work, and I was in full time behind the chair. So it was like at that point, I developed a hustle that everybody sees now. I developed a work ethic that everyone sees now. So to everybody now, it looks crazy that I'm able to run at this, but it's kind of like you prepare for the game you want to play. And I prepared myself to be able to run and do the things that I do, not really thinking that's what I was preparing myself for. But to be able to run my career parallel for so long and do so many things, I'm thankful for it because I did have the buckets of different places where this industry can take me.
And it is because you're involved in so many aspects of it where you're, you know, you still have hands and hair sometimes. You work on the education side, but not only for products and brands, but for tech and different companies, your own brand. I mean,
Yeah.
what advice do you have for students? And I know we talk about this at Beacon with the students, but you're wide-eyed and you think, how do I get to be like John and tomorrow? And you, number one, you won't get there tomorrow. Let's set let's set that record straight.
Mm-mm.
It's going to take a little bit longer than that to get there. But what advice do you usually tell the students or others that are just, you know, hungry for any information that they can in leadership in their careers?
I tell anybody, first off, you got to have an idea team. You know, that's something that I wish I would have known earlier on in my career. Second, you always got to believe in yourself, no matter what other people may think of your vision or your goals. Or sometimes we set unrealistic goals, and it's okay for people to tell you that they're a little unrealistic. But then you have to get real with yourself and figure out what is realistic for you. And once you figure out what's realistic for you, then you're able to actually map out a plan. And so you got to keep blinders. I always use this reference where it's like if you see a parade and you just look at the horses in the parade, it's so much chaos going around. You got the band playing, kids yelling, you know, but these horses, they have one piece of equipment that keep them on task, and those are blinders. They have the blinders where they only see what's in front of them. And
Mm,
the only way that they could get off track is if they actually turn their head
turn.
or the reins are loosened. And so you're controlling your own reins, but keep your head straight, keep focused, keep going. And at the end of the day, if you really can't give your vision to a lot of people because they don't see what you see. They don't understand what your thoughts are. So you got to kind of keep that on a tuck, and that's why you have the idea team in place because those are the people that you grow with and you trust their opinions about your vision. And you had that conversation with them. And then most of all, you got to figure out how gritty are you? How gritty are you? How much grit do you have in you? You know,
Mm,
I tell people all the time when they sit back and they're like, man, I want to be like you. I want to do what you do. And I tell them, okay, well, let's be honest. Let's correct your behaviors. What kind of behaviors do you have?
yeah.
And if your behaviors do not show work ethic right now, you're not going to make it. Or if you do make it, it's going to take you a longer time to turn and pivot because of the fact that you're not practicing the discipline that it takes to get there. So you got to have that discipline. You got to have those blinders. You got to understand that life is life. You're going to have mistakes and be okay with the mistakes, grow from them. But more importantly, you got to have the end goal always in focus, no matter what goes on. You could get a GPS and it's going to reroute you to get you to the same location. But if you go off that location, yeah, it could be faster, but you're taking a risk because something can happen on that road as well. So you just got to trust the process more than anything. You can't look at somebody else's journey and try to make it yours. You can't figure out somebody else's time and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do it this at this point or faster." Because if you don't have a mentor in place as well, you need a mentor. Mentors are there to guide you and help you, lead you down the right direction, have those harsh conversations with you that you might not want to hear, but
Mhm.
you got to trust them because you put them in place.
Who are your mentors?
My mentors,
Yeah.
I pick up a little bit of game from everybody.
Yeah.
Fortunately in this business, I had, my mother in the industry. So I learned a lot from her. My sisters are in the industry, so we had a lot of family conversation. But I think mentorship just doesn't come from the profession. I tell
Absolutely.
anyone when people say, where do you get your, like, where did this type of mentality come from? I'm like, my dad worked on a railroad. So that showed me the grit. When you out there working on gravel, walking in steel toe boots all the time and up late doing all of that. And then my mom worked in the beauty business. So I seen a little bit of all of it. I learn and study from everybody, honestly. So the world is my mentor, but I treat it like a Brita filter. I take what I want and leave the rest behind.
I love that. I have mentors from all areas. I mean, some in beauty, but some of my longstanding mentors have no idea what beauty is or does, but they're the people, like you said, that have that difficult conversation with you. One in particular, I know if I know that I need to hear the things I don't want to hear, he's the one I've got to call because he's going to give it to me straight and I need to hear it.
Yeah. And to be honest, that's probably your favorite mentor
Uh-huh. Yeah.
because they push you the most. They make you grow. They make you grow,
They
and
make you grow.
they make you realize that there is change available, and it's up to you.
Yeah. Well, speaking of change, I do want to get into Dandyman, of course, because we did a podcast with Lucas that'll be out soon, and they're visionary members with PBA, and just love the vision and love the support of the professional at the heart of what you're doing at Dandyman. So if you can talk about like what big plans are in store for this brand, what does the world need to know?
First of all, the world needs to know that this is not something that's new to me and Lucas. Lucas been a part of the Popular Nobody family since like 2018,
Yes.
2019. And so I was just never in a position because I was always with another company to actually put my name behind Lucas fully. I've always supported him because he's Popular Nobody, and I've always given him guidance. But this time around, I'm stamping it fully. And we decided to join forces. But more importantly, he's given me the creative freedom as a creative director to say, you know what, let's go. Let's go build something great. And so currently, we're in talks about bringing on new educating heavy, bringing on artists from educators to ambassadors. We're talking new products. We're talking tools. We're just talking things, But most importantly, we're talking the industry. What do the industry need from us as a brand? How can we best suit the industry as a brand? And how can we suit the people that's in the industry from the artists that we select to represent the brand? And being very careful with who we align ourselves with and how we select those people. But more importantly, just bringing something that's a great product without the high pain point of a price value. But what's in the bottle is in the bottle, and it's going to work the way we tell you it's going to work. We're going to show you how to make it work, but also we're going to support you all the way through. We're trying to bring, not, I'm not even going to say try. We're bringing a movement into the industry. We're bringing a community into the industry, and everybody's welcome. Everybody's included.
I love that. And it kind of goes into this question about what do you think is missing? And maybe that's what excites you about this role. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like what was missing in like the professional realm of beauty that you feel like could still be happening, or maybe that's part of what you're building with what's happening now at Dandyman.
Through my time, I've been able to go to the shows. I've been able to work with a lot of different companies, so I kind of see a lot of different holes. And so I think one of my special powers, my superhero powers, is forecasting. And
Hmm.
so being able to understand what our industry is missing is key. And I feel like one thing about shows, there's no shows or shows anymore. Shows shows have been taken really lightly. So for us, we want to make sure we bring the show back to shows. We want to make sure that we provide great education. We provide passion back into the industry. We provide love back in the industry. But more importantly, we want to put great products out to the industry. And I think that's where Lucas and I align a lot in all of those buckets. And then more importantly, we want to give opportunity. We want to give opportunity for not just the barber stylists to have great products, but for the rest of the world to have our great products. And I think that's where we all should align at. And so bringing shows back to shows,
Love it.
uh, and doing it with a smile on our face, and just developing something that is going to be a great product, and not meaning the jars, but the brand, a great product for the rest of the world to see. And you got two people that standing tall in how we believe in education. We stand tall on how we believe in this brand, and so we ready to take on the world.
I love it. I can't wait, and I'm so excited that as PBA that we get to be a partner with that and help with introducing to the audiences that we have, but also aligned in that goal of really elevating the industry in not just for the industry, but for the entire universe, right? Like to see the value that this industry brings, that it's not a hobby, that it's not a side career type of a thing, that it truly is an amazing professional career for people to choose.
Yeah, and not even just talking haircutting education or styling education, but we're also going into education on helping entrepreneurs build their brands. So we're going to talk that side of the business too. Me and Lucas was blessed with an opportunity in New Orleans to teach a class together about building a brand, and people left that class feeling inspired. We actually helped them understand how to start their brand, build their brand, what to do, what not to do, and I think that's part of it too. That's something that hole that I felt has been missing in the industry. Everybody's cutting hair on the internet. Everybody's showing you how to do color on the internet. So what else can we bring to the table? How can we stand as two people that own businesses that's coming together to show the rest of the world, no, this is what you need to be doing on top of the art side of what we do.
I love it. And it's a question we get from a lot of our members, especially lately, is I want to build a brand, I want to launch a brand, I don't know what I should do, or just business advice in general of how to run a business because so many people are becoming entrepreneurs in the industry and going out on their own and doing their own thing. So that's amazing to have the resource of two experts in the field to share that with them and help along the way.
Yeah, and the thing about it too, a lot of people don't know this, but I was in the process of starting my own brand.
I know.
You know, I was in the I was in the process of starting my own product line called J. Henry in honor of my father. You know what I mean? And so, but what I did was I realized, why compete when we could collaborate?
Love
You
that.
know, and I've been a competitor my whole life. You know, I played sports, I did all of that, but I had a family member that has a product line that's amazing. So why not just go over there and bring the same J. Henry products that I was going to bring to the market? Why don't I bring it over to Dandy and we still create those products, and I still get to do all the great things I wanted to do with my line, but we just do it together and really make a movement. That's the whole thing about it, making a movement together.
I love that. That's awesome. Because collaboration, it is so key. Like I don't the saying, it's like escaping me now. Like if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go together. Something
Hmm.
to that effect. Like I just that we need more of that, I think. More of the
Well, we
collaborative approach.
we here to collaborate, and I'm taking phone calls from everybody that want to collaborate with us and want to talk to us because that's
You
important.
know I'm hearing Vanilla Ice in my head right now, right? No, collaborate and listen.
Ice is
90s
back
hip
with a
hop,
brand
man.
new
Come on.
edition.
There
Something
you
grabbed
go.
a something grabbed a hold of me tightly.
There you go. Oh my
I
gosh.
love it.
So what would John today tell John, I don't know, when you were first starting this career? What advice do you have for yourself, the younger version of John?
I'm gonna simplify because I think sometimes this answer could get really deep with people. So the simple answer for that is, young John, stay patient, stay focused, and worry about execution.
Mm, yeah, that
And
sums it
keep
up.
learning. Keep learning. I normally leave keep learning out, but because it's so everybody's gonna always tell you keep being a student, keep learning, keep blah blah blah. But be patient with yourself, continue to grow, but execute. And other than that, it would have to be um, always remember the purpose. Always remember the purpose. I think for so many of us, we get in this because the purpose is to prove our family wrong that we can make this hustle a real thing. And then it's because I just love creating art. And then it's because I want to be my own boss and all of those things. But when you really boil it down to the bottom of the pot, the purpose is people.
Mm,
That's what everybody forgets. We're still in the service business. We're still serving people. So your passion is not creating art. Your passion is serving people and getting a smile out of the people that you're serving. That feeds your cup. That fills your cup. That adds whatever you need to your bucket. So always keep that first. The people. Put the people in front of your passion because that's what your purpose is.
I love that. I think I've told you this before. Every time we talk, I feel like I've just gone to church in a really good way. I like feel re-inspired and re-entered and like bring it back to why we do what we do. And it's the center of it all is the people.
That's it. We want to make the world beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So before our time is up, I like to ask a fun question of everyone. And it's about, I love to see what the answers reveal. If you could go back in time, or maybe there's a future time that you would create, that you love the look, you love the fashion, the style, the whatever, the whole like just feel and vibe of that decade. What decade is the John decade?
Um, Oh, that's a good one. I probably got to say the '90s because that's when hip hop and like beauty start really crossing. That's when like the Anthony Masons, the Dennis Rodmans, that's when they
Hmm.
start experimenting with hair and hair
Hair.
color and hair trends. So I think that era right there was a dope era that now you see the fashion of this
It's
generation
coming
that we're,
back.
we're, we're right. So it's like I think that's the era right there, the '90s.
It's amazing to see it coming back, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel so old because I lived through it the first time, and I wore it the first time. I'm like, can I do it the second time? I don't know.
Some stuff you just gotta leave
You gotta
leave
leave
as
it.
the
Oh
unknown.
yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta leave it back in the '90s for
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
for
I don't
sure.
see us wearing I done seen back in the day when the ladies wore the net gloves,
Oh
the
Lord.
Cindy Lauper joints, and then
Hmm.
you had the aqua net. I might be telling people how old some of us are
Yeah,
listening,
the
but
Aquanet hair, and I French rolled my pants, and then I went through a grunge thing where I wore a lot of flannel and baggy jeans and Timberlands, and
yeah.
I've had a
So
lot of
we
looks,
gonna
man.
we're gonna stay with the '90s. We're gonna just roll right
We're
into the
gonna roll
'90s
right
and
through.
enjoy it. Yeah, we're gonna just enjoy the '90s a little bit.
Oh shoot. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It has been such a pleasure. Before we go, any final words of it? I mean, you've already given so much advice and wisdom, but one last word of wisdom advice from John Mosley.
Uh, yeah, just enjoy what you do. Enjoy what you do, love what you do, love who you do it for, the people, and continue to grow. Continue to look for yourself in different outlets. This is a big industry. You don't have to stay behind the chair. Take me for an example. And now I'm in the tech space and the business side of it, and now the product side. I've been there before, and I'm there again. The creative director seat. Like, there's so much more in this beauty space. So don't just think if you're not a student that can succeed, or you feel like you're not succeeding behind the chair. Maybe it's not that your skill set not there. Maybe it's just your passion might be somewhere else in it, and you just got to find it. So don't give up on the beauty space. Don't give up on the barbering space. Just enjoy it and figure out where your fit is and where your tribe is inside of it, and go make hell of a hell of a life out of it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I could keep going. I know, but I can't monopolize your whole day here. So it's always a pleasure, John. I can't wait to see you soon at an event coming up. I'm sure we'll see each other
I will
somewhere.
I will be with you November
Can't
11th.
wait. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see you
Yes.
and Lucas there. So once again, thank you so much, John Mosley. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
See ya.
Bye.